Hello and welcome. I'm Sandy of Lolly and Sand, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. And so since I was under the weather last Friday and I didn't do a video, I thought let's do a quick recap of the cards made last week. So just checking to make sure Facebook's working, and it is, of course it is. Anyway, so last week we were using Basket of Blooms, and this is a card. This is the card that appeared on my blog. This is the card we made, so very, very similar. You can read all about that on my blog. I had also made this one, just trying out something different, some different coloring, different embossing and such. And then I thought, and you may have seen these, I did make a blog post about them. I thought, this is a really cute, fun set. Like, no doubt about it. It's super cute, super fun. But my question was, could you make something elegant with it? And got a little fuzzy there. Get. And it turns out you can. So just keep that in mind, that it's definitely a versatile set. So, okay, so if you're just joining me, say hi, so I know you're here. And in the meantime, let's get started. So this was Basket of Blooms. That's last week. Hey, Louise. Hi. I just get the occasional feeling that someone's stepping on my chest. But other than that, it's all good. All good. All good. Which makes me very happy. All right, here we go. Here's the set we're using. And fancy phrases. It is a red rubber stamp set. And it comes in a bundle. I don't have the tag topper punch, but if you get the two of those together as a bundle, you save 10%, which is awesome. Hey Lee, welcome. Alrighty, trying to see both. Make sure I'm in the frame and see some comments. So I'm like, hurry. Anyway, this was a set. It wasn't on my radar right away, but I kind of went, you know what? I think I could do something with this, and of course the beautiful sentiments. So why not? Hey Marcy, welcome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was if that was a cold, that was the weirdest cold I've ever had. The weirdest. Especially like, oh, I want to sleep, and that's fine. I did manage to get some stuff done, which is good. Like create a few cards since I wasn't going live. Anyway. Here we are. This is what we're using. I say we get started. So let's set that aside and bring out our paper. So this is just my scrap paper in behind, and this is a piece of Whisper White thick. I find we're going to color, and I find when I use, and I didn't get the ink out, when I use Stampin Blends, I like the way it appears on the thick paper the best. So you can tell I've stamped a bunch. I didn't clean it, you know. I think, and I'm not kidding you, because I was playing around yesterday, I think I inked this up probably 8 or 9 times and kept the last one. I kept the others. I can't let them go yet, but I wasn't, the coloring wasn't, I didn't like how I colored them. All right, so I'm going to stick to this side of the page, and I know this is the main, I called this one the main rose here. So if I keep that in mind and kind of go, let's just go about here, because I can always trim it, right? We'll just go about there. Might be a little bit higher than the sample, but that's okay. I know you haven't seen the sample because I like to keep that a secret. I don't know why. How mean of me is that? And all I'm doing, I just want to leave this here so the ink has lots of time to soak into the paper. And there. Whew. You know what? It's pretty like that. We're done. Bye-bye. And I'm totally kidding. I'm going to add some color. Actually, one of my frustrations yesterday is I wanted to use my white, which one is it? Whisper White Stampin' Up watercolor pencil. And I couldn't find a pencil sharpener. I know. Oh, the horrors. All right. So anyway, let's get coloring. Okay. So I'm starting with Mango Mallow and Granny Apple Green. Now, when I purchased these, you could purchase them individually. So I only have the light. The rest you just have to work with. So, doing the leaves first, and you already know me. You know I like, you know what, I'm gonna use the bullet end. I like to put yellow in my leaves. Now, some of these are really small, a little bit tough to get into. I was trying to decide, is that a leaf or not? I think I went with it's a bud, not sure. If you don't know colored anyway, it's no biggie, right? I'm not really thinking about how I'm putting this on. I'm just putting down a little bit of color. I don't like my leaves, as you know. I don't like my leaves to look all the same. So ladies, I stepped outside for a moment to pick up a package that was left on the porch. This is so Canadian. Is it hot out there or what? Like, that is nasty. Yay for air conditioning, right? How are you staying cool today? Anyone have a pool? Not that I can stop by, so don't worry. I still have to isolate for a few more days because I did have the test just to make sure, to make my daughter feel comfortable. Look, I miss these guys. It is easy to miss the leaves. To have my daughter comfortable and knowing that, no, I do not have the virus, and yes, I can, once the 14 days are up, I can help. Which is good, because I'm missing her and the little guy and the big guy. Now you can tell by my coloring that I like to keep it simple. I don't like to turn it into rocket science. We're coloring here, you know? We're just coloring. I just want to go back and add just a little bit. It's weird when you're looking at them upside down. When I was making the sample, I actually kept turning the page to say, yep, that's a flower, yep. And that looks like, okay, I get it. This is the bottom of the bud, so I can do this in green. And if you're hearing that clicking noise, that's the noise you want to hear. That tells you that you have closed your Stampin' Blend. All right, now we're moving on to Poppy Parade. And we're gonna do a lot of it. You're gonna be like, what? And I have to be really delicate because I've used it so much that the tip is starting to bend a little bit. So I'm actually gonna put a whole bunch of color down. A whole bunch of color. Oh, you're so quiet, ladies. So very quiet. When I get into these smaller flowers, I am going to switch to the bullet end from the brush end, because I just know that there is that possibility of going outside the lines, and I'd really rather not. We try to avoid that, don't we? Anyway, yep, time to switch. All right, off to this end. Put a little here, a little here. If you notice, and I want to show this to you nice and close, you notice all of these dark lines here. I know I've colored over some of them, but all these really nice dark lines, Stampin' Up! Has made it so we know where to put the darker colors. And it adds shadow and just makes it look amazing. I'm pretty sure that's part of the flower, so we're going with it. If I miss one, I'll just go back. And I do believe there's a little flower hiding back here too. And a little bit of the bud, and these two little guys. They look like very Canadian flowers at the moment. Red and white. But don't dismay. We are going back to this. I like when I can, you know me, I love mixing my colors. So we're going back to Mango Melody. I almost call it Mellow Mambo. Hey Judy, very hot. Even the dog. Yeah, you know what? Dogs are having a tough time with the heat. You know, they've got their nice coats on all the time, and unlike us, they don't, well, we handle the heat as well as we can. Dogs can get overheated pretty quick. They want to have fun. All right, so you might be thinking, what on earth is she doing? What on earth is Sandy doing? Good gracious. Don't worry, stay with me, and I will show you at the end how this is all going to come together. I hope. Hey, Kathy Jean. Hello, welcome. Glad you're back and able to join today. That is lovely. Alrighty. I guess while I'm coloring, I could say that make a reminder, or do a reminder anyway, that bonus days are on. So in Canada, you get a $6 bonus day coupon to redeem in August and you can get one of these coupons for every $30, $60 you spend. Where did that come from? I don't know. All right. Oh, hello, Jackie. I'm not sure I'm saying it. Jackie? Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you like my videos. Thank you. I love making them, quite frankly. Let's see what we're doing. I'm going to go back in. We're going to try a bunch of colors. I can't remember what I used on the blog post, which, by the way, of course, is ready to go. It's ready to go, just waiting for the video. What I found is when you add all this yellows underneath, that your red kind of turns orangey, and I really like that. So we're going back in again. We'll see how it works. I think I spent quite a while yesterday with my card, which I'll show you at the end, and just deciding how exactly I wanted to look. And when I looked at the photos, it's this kind of weird. It almost looked 3D, like it was coming off the page. Will that translate on video? I do not know, but you'll see on my blog that they look pretty awesome. And all I did was adjust the color ever so slightly just to bring up the brightness. So I'm not one for playing around with colors a whole bunch unless I'm coloring. I like my photos to be as realistic as possible, so it's natural light, which means I only have a certain window of opportunity. And of course, as you know, don't say winter, but in winter that window is quite a bit smaller, and the lighting is different too, because it seems to be a little yellowy. So you really have to watch when you're taking pics. I love taking pictures of the cards. It just makes me happy. I think I'm a wannabe photographer. It kind of runs in our family. The photography part, not the wannabe part. Yes. I was pretty disappointed because I had a bunch of pool invites last week, and I can't come over. I can't come over. Disappointment. I also think I'm half dolphin. I'm not the best swimmer in the world, but I love being in the water. Okay, now we're bringing out the big guns. We're bringing out Cherry Cobbler. Not sure which end yet. Let's take a look. If I go like this, yeah, the tip is kind of, I've had these since they first came out. Whenever the color became available, I took it. So now, as mentioned, with these dark lines, I'm going to go in here and add a bunch of Cherry Cobbler. I know they're called Stampin Blends. I'm just not the best. Oh, I went out the line. That's okay. Out of the line. I'm just not the best blender in town. So my suggestion is make your cards how they make you feel happy. You know, so if you're happy with the way it came out and your blending isn't 100% fantastic, do not worry about it. It's your card and it's beautiful. And you made it, and that's the important part. You did. Oh, I know what I wanted to mention. On the, I don't have a calendar handy. I think it's the 18th is a Saturday, doing another Zoom mystery card. I haven't posted. Oh, I went outside the lines again. Is someone getting a little happy here? Slow that train down just a little, Sandy. Slow the train down. I know it's talking and coloring at the same time. And don't you worry, I am going to go back in and put in more of the Poppy Parade. I do love Cherry Cobbler. It was my all-time favorite red right from the start. Poppy Parade kind of got me because I like the orangey reds. Well, I like bright colors. You wouldn't know that from my last couple cards. It was like, nope. I am leaving more yellow on that one. And it's a matter of, you just keep going back in until you're happy, you know. Add in the color here, and then we'll go over that again. I don't know, is it starting to jump off the page? Does that, oh, am I in the frame, or am I moved my, oh no, we're good. I moved everything this way a little bit, so it kind of threw off the balance. Hopefully you can, I'll just have to wait till the, I have to wait until Facebook catches up. Oh, thank you, Claire. Is anyone, put your hands up, so no, I can't see your hands up. Put your hands up though, if you love Stampin' Blends. If you haven't quite figured them out, just play with them. Get them and play with them. When you use the blends, you want to use the Memento. Tuxedo. I like Tuxedo Black. It's the darkest black. And it goes, this is so it doesn't bleed through. It's the one you want to use. I always like that because you just use the wrong ones. I'm like, why isn't this turning out? I don't know if you can see that it's starting to turn orange now that I'm putting more on top of where the Mango Melody was. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Exactly. Oh, thanks, Lee. It's, you know, everyone's like, oh, there's so many flowers in the Stampin' Up catalog. Well, yeah, for a reason, because they're beautiful. I don't think you can ever have enough flowers. I might not be able to grow them, but I can certainly play with them here. I'm glad you like the blends, Claire. They are the be all and end all. Until we got these, I was like, no way, not trying. I just straight stamped everything. And then I was like, I'll try the blends. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to try the watercolor pencils. Now, it is true that most of the time when I'm using the watercolor pencils, I'm using them dry. I'm not using water with them. I do, hopefully, fingers crossed, I do have an order coming in tomorrow that will have my watercolor paper because I used it all. And then I can play some more with that. And maybe we'll play with that on Friday, you know. Let me just go back and check the comments. Oh, you like them too? Yeah, buy them. Buy them. You get the light and the dark. So Stampin' Up's made shading pretty darn easy when you have both. You know me, I'm all over the place with the color. I wanted to compare with the original, which looks a lot more orange. So we're going to, I'm comparing so I can see it from here. And oh yes, the colors I use, Lee, are right now are Cherry Cobbler and Poppy Parade. Now I use the lights because again, I didn't buy the pack. So when these run out, I'll be buying them as they are available now, which is in the, you get the two of them at the same time, light and the dark. So we're going back in again with Mango Melody. Why do I want to call that Melon Mambo? You know, they sound so much alike. And you're going to see the orange pop a whole lot more. Yeah, I said pop. You know how I don't like saying pop. It's going to pop. It is going to pop. And like I said, I'm not the expert here. I just put the color where I think it looks pretty and try to fill in all the little spaces. If you happen to say, okay, I'm done. I don't feel like I'm done yet, but if you happen to say you're done, you can always go back in and add a little bit more after. It's not, I'll show you this. It is going to go through, but this whole thing is getting popped up on the card front. So there's no way it's making it to the card base, you know? No way, man. And I haven't done, I think I did put my blog address link up in the comments, but I haven't put the link to shop. But if you are looking, if you have a demonstrator, then of course shop with them. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would be more than happy to help you out. Alrighty. I'm just thinking, nope, I did not do the centers on the original, so I'm going to keep that as close as I can. I know I went outside the lines a couple times. Forgive me. All right, so there we are. And the next thing I need to do is trim it down a bit. It's bigger than I want, and I will fix that. Oh, you know what? For this I can use the mini trimmer, because I'm not this isn't an exact science, okay? If you ask me what the measurements are, I'll go, I don't know, because I didn't measure. I will tell you, I am cutting this down to 4 inches for now on this side. I believe I'm going to have to cut it down a bit more. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I knew I had this on my desk for a reason. You know how this was available? This is our mini cutter, and yes, I've got glue on it still. I know I haven't cleaned it. The mini cutter at one time was available earlier this year, actually, as a, I want to check my base before I cut it. Yep, cut it. It was only available with the starter kit. Well, now demonstrators can order these. They're not available to customers. I'm so sorry. They're not available to customers. So if you, there we go. That's more like what I'm looking for. I might take a little bit more off this side. Okay, I am going to take a little bit off. I will tell you what. I'll make note of what this measurement is. Actually, I just want to take a little bit first. You know, it's like, perfect. Okay, so that measurement is about 3 3/4 by about, let's see, so this is 5.5, so I'm going to say that this is 5. I can check it more on the big one, on the big cutter. Anyway, so yeah, if you happen to join Stampin' Up, it's still a great deal. You can, after the fact, you can order this as a supply list item. All right, I am going to do this one. I like the small one, just for working on my desk. Oh, I'm wrong. It's 5 1/8. So I'm happy with that. And yes, I do want it over to the side, and I'll show you why in a moment. All right, so here's the base of the card. This is 4.5 wide, 11 inches long, which is the length of the paper. So I just basically cut it in half, and I scored it at 5.5. I seem to really, I've taken a liking to having my cards stand this way. Why? I do not know. Okay, so now we have to add in some of the fun stuff, which is off to the side. Now, if you haven't seen these guys, I cut one in kind of in half. These are the square vellum doilies. We used to have them in round, and they were they were white. You could still color, I think, the back side of them. And these you can color too. I don't want to do it right now because I don't want to get ink on anything. What I'm going to do is just add this little bit right here. And this is the exact reason why I cut it, because I wanted to make sure it would stay in the right spot and not hang over the card. So, oh, here it is. I was looking for my take your pick tool. I prefer when I'm using down here. I prefer when I'm using like vellum, like this, not to use the glue. It's so open. The chance of you actually getting that in the right spot and getting it to stick properly, pretty slim. I do want to bring the cutter back in because I was like, how am I going to get this to stay where I want it to stay? Your cutter's more than a cutter, you know that. Excuse my big arm being in the way. Okay, so I want it straight. So what I did, I don't know that I cut it straight because I just put it in the machine and, you know. But what I'm going to do is just line it up with this edge here, line this up, and just set it, oops, up a bit. I don't want it right down at the bottom. Up a wee bit. You can tell I'm putting a lot of thought into this one, you know. Not just flying by the seat of my pants like I usually do. And that's how you get it straight. If you have issues with things being straight, hands up again, that'd be me. It's a perfect little solution. So double check it, because it is on glue dots. You can pull that off. So you can tell the focus of the card is right here so far. And I'm really liking it. Now, I am not forgetting, like I sometimes do, I'm not forgetting ribbon. And I don't always use it, but I want to do something on this card just to, one, have it look like the original, and two, just to add a little something. And it's white, so it's still, again, not taking away from here. So glue dots to the rescue again. And for those of you who are new to watching me, this isn't my idea. I found a demonstrator had done this. I can feel there's a glue dot on there. This keeps the roll from just coming apart, and all you have to do is put that back, and there's your glue dot. I love that part. All right, so I'm going to stick this down first, and this is my method of making it straight. It's kind of like a, what do you call those, a plumb line. Just kind of let it fall. That's pretty good. And hold it. Now, being women, we can multitask. So that hand's holding it down. This hand's grabbing a glue dot. And under we go. I will double check it. And if it's not straight, you can pull that up. It's no biggie. Oh, it is. Shock. All right. I'm going to make a bow. I have to tell you this. And I kid you not. I can make bows. I have no problem making bows. But when I make a bow that's attached to something, you know, you do this and you make your bow, I cannot do that. So I decided, and I did actually have a bow. It's probably this that I pulled apart, because I don't usually cut pieces and leave them. And I'm big over the thumb bow maker now. I don't know why. It just seems easy. Grab the end. So I had made this bow. Let's pretend. Pull, pull, pull. I hope I'm not boring you. You're all so quiet. All right, come on. Let's just pretend this is a bow. And then I thought, that's heavier than I want it to be. So we're pretending it's not perfect. So I'm going with the, just cut a piece. Actually, I'm not gonna cut it yet. Cut it after it's already on here and knotted. This didn't take up quite as much real estate, and it just made me happier for the card. Now you do want to play with this ever so slightly just to make sure everything's going the direction you want. And then, now I did cut them off reasonably short. Reasonably short. Like so. We are so getting there. All right. Let's put this on the card base and see where we're at. Like so far? Okay, this is going to be a lot. Now the one thing, that's where it's bumpy there because of that. I think I should pull that a little tighter. There. All right, so one thing you need to do when you're putting on your dimensionals is, this is Whisper White thick, so it's good and thick. You know, I really like it. But when you get up to the ribbon, and I'll just show you. Let's say you put it here. And I know I put the glue dot right there, but it's not as stuck as you would like it to be. So you're going to need a second one if you're going to place it on your ribbon. It's a nice way to hold the ribbon down. And just a couple more. Alrighty. I am so glad you love this, because it's so quiet. In fact, it's even quiet in the house, which is, interesting. I have a quiet house anyway, I should say. Anyway, let's take a peek. Yep, still in frame. Good to know. You have to check that once in a while, because once you start moving things around, you're like, nah, only I can see it. Or I have this habit of holding things up towards myself. Well, you can't see that either. Which is why I moved my camera up today. Oh my goodness. Almost done. There was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, I know. If you would be, ask you, I'm not telling. Oh, yes, ask you. If you'd be ever so kind to share my video, that would be awesome. All right, so now I'm just going to check this. They're all shiny, which is good. Now, my friend down the street, who happens to be camping right now, gave me this. And I had seen Martin Stone, one of my favorite demos in the UK. He used this, and I'm like, that's how you get them straight? Hello, beautiful. Okay, so I know I want this to be a fair ways over, and I don't know that you can see all them. Here, hold it up. So I just want these little lines, the 1/16 of an inch lines, I think. Might be the 1/8 of an inch lines by the looks of things. Yep. So all I'm going to do is make sure that's all lined up. This is going to make your life so easy. I'm not looking at the top or bottom. I'm not as concerned about that. Okay, I did look. I peeked. There. It's straight. No more worries. This, I think it's the best gift I may have ever received. Again, we're not done. We need a sentiment. And we're bringing in, yes, the big guns again. Now, I know I did this last week, but I can show you again. Now, I always say this. I say the same thing. You can tell here I've been snipping. When I do my heat embossing, I do a whole bunch. So there was more down here. There was actually two. I wrecked one. It happens. And I was kind of deciding if I would do this. And I know I've got this little bit, if you can see right there. You know, when you use your Stampin' Embossing Buddy or Embossing Buddy, hopefully that doesn't show. So here's the trick I learned from Martin, which I did demo. So this has this nice little cutting line right here, or scoring line. I can do it with the scoring line a lot safer than with my fingers. What you want to do is line up the bottom of your sentiment, and don't look up here because that is going to be crooked. Could be crooked a little bit. I always have to shut one eye. I don't know about you, but I have to shut one eye to see if it's straight. And then cut. So I just lined it up. I can see the bottom of my embossing. This is really close. Yeah, oh, I tore it. Oh, I dislike when that happens. Is it time for a new blade? I don't think it really is. I find the basic black does this more than others. Anyway, we're going to do it again. And one thing you want to do, and I'm going to do it right now. Thank you, Marcy. I'm glad you like the card. If you find that this happens where you get those scraggly ends, once again, this is the take your pick tool. I just switched the end to the, I don't know what this is called, the palette end, and take out any stuff that might be in there that might cause your, I see some with my, okay, that might cause the blade to get stuck. All right, so let's go back in. Well, that's pretty close. Alrighty. So if you're not sure, just eyeball it and then wiggle it around so you're happy, or bring it back out so you can see the letters and push them. Try to push them evenly away, which is what I'm trying to do. I would really prefer it be even. Sometimes it takes a little finagling, and it's that patience word. It's funny though, when you're doing a video, you're like, no, I don't have time. Just make the time. Much better cut. What were you doing, Sandy? There is a way to get rid of these. Nail file. Choices. And let's get rid of all the little scrappy doos. There. So, this is a lovely sentiment. But I want to cut it. Yes, I'm all about cutting these now. It's just like, once you have these toys, you want to play with them, you know? And I have to say, this cutter, I can take this into the living room if I want to do some of this. I can take it downstairs to my studio. You know, it's worth it. It is worth it. So if you are a demonstrator, you can order this now. And if you're not a demonstrator, be a demonstrator. You don't have to do what I do. Okay. And I'm going to cut this again. I'm going to say sending. See if we can get that lined up. Please don't cut it. Okay. Sometimes you just commit and go, just do it. Just be a Nike commercial and do it. All right. So now you're like, there's no way I'm not popping this up. So back with the dimensionals. I don't know if you can see here. Well, I think you can. You can tell that I've been cutting the edges away. This is how I got it to be this thin. Handy dandy scissors. And I don't know how wide that is. Could use a little more trim, but for now, I'm okay. And that's about that long. Let's go with that. And it actually is, if you're wondering, it's quite stable. It's not going to fall off its skinny little bit of dimensional. Another really good thing to use up the edges of your dimensionals. Another good way, I should say. Sometimes words escape me, you know? Anybody else tongue-tied? Oh, sometimes. I think we're all good. Okay. So am I measuring? Not really. Just looking at the card. And once we put this on, we're not done either. There's more. How long have I been talking? Good gracious, I'm yappy today. This is what I want to do. I can see just a little bit of that, and it's going to drive me nuts. So, you know, of that little, there's one little speck of embossing powder. So I'm going to very carefully, yay, cut that off. Nothing goes to waste. You are right, Louise. We are paper users, not paper wasters, you know? Hey, Janice, welcome. Oh, we have done a recap, just so you know. We've done a recap of last week's cards and the ones that I did on, there we go. Tuck it in, right there. Might have to give that another trim. It's looking wider at the one end, and that's okay because you can take it off, or you can do it right there. And then, yeah, and the cards that I made last Friday, but not on the video. Now for this, I definitely want to just kind of lean forward and there. You crooked. I don't like that. You will be straight. You will be straight. Not done because I decided, you know how long it's been since I've used pearls? Like forever. And when I found them, I was going through my what's retired, what's not retired, might be a hint for things to come. I just went, actually I want the picky side. I want the picky pokey scary side. It's not scary as long as you don't poke yourself with it. It's pretty sharp, but it's nothing to worry about. I think our sewing needles are like way sharper. And 1, 2, I'm back to the rule of 3 for this. Now I'm noticing inside this flower that I got some red, so here we go. This is the part where I said you can go there. I'll just change that one ever so slightly. There's our 3. Alrighty. Anyway, so now today we're doing this card. So there's the card. Here's the original, pretty darn close. Maybe, actually I got that pretty close. You can tell this is how I knew not to go too close to the edge, because I'm like really close to the edge. And this is the card you'll see on my blog. They said they're so close. But again, my eyes see this is almost coming right off the page, and that is exactly what I wanted. Put the leaves in the background, put the flowers in the foreground, and boop. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you've been thinking about this stamp set, because you know what? This is money that you might just want to get. Janice, you just might want to. So I'm going to be back on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, please share my video. That would be wonderful. The shopping link will be up in the description. When you go to my blog, a little pop-up will come up and it'll say sign up for my newsletter. Feel free to, because that's how you're going to find out things that are happening sometimes before my posts go up. So that's a good thing, kind of get right in there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Whether you're watching me on Facebook, go on over to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and click on that little bell. What I've learned is if you click on that bell, you're notified of the videos. Look at the things I'm learning these days. And that's it. I'm so, oh, you guys, you're so sweet, ladies. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely. Lovely comments. You're making my day. I can't see my grandson yet, but apparently I can next week. Yay! Anyway, because my time will be up, so to speak. Not that time. The being on my own time. Anyway, I will see you Friday again. Don't know what we're making, but it'll be something fun. So have a great week. Stay cool. Stay crafty. Okay, bye-bye.